Hello friends, welcome to the video tutorial on mobile TCP. With the arrival of wireless LANs, a lot of research went into increasing the performance of TCP in wireless and mobile environments. Some of its outcomes are indirect TCP, snooping TCP, and mobile TCP. Today we will be discussing about mobile TCP. Before moving on the main topic of discussion, let's brush up with the prerequisites for the topic. Classical TCP is divided into three parts. The first one is the indirect TCP. Indirect TCP segments a TCP connection to a mobile device into a fixed part and a wireless part. The standard TCP is connected between fixed host and the foreign agent, which is also known as the access point, whereas the wireless TCP is connected between the access point and the mobile host. The access point acts as a proxy for both fixed and mobile nodes. In case of fixed nodes, it is the mobile node proxy, and in case of mobile host, it is the fixed node proxy. Snooping TCP is the second part. In this method, the foreign agent buffers all packets with destination mobile host and additionally snoops the packet flow in both directions to recognize acknowledgements. Buffering enables the foreign agent to perform local retransmissions in case of packet loss on the wireless link. The third and the final part is the mobile TCP, about which we will be learning in this video. The basic TCP methodology states that when a node does not receive an acknowledgement back from the host, it carries out retransmission. In case of mobile devices, dropping packets when they are out of coverage area are very common. A TCP sender tries to retransmit data controlled by retransmission timer, which doubles up with each unsuccessful attempt till a maximum of 1 minute. This means that the sender tries to retransmit an unacknowledged packet every 1 minute and will give up after 12 retransmissions. If connectivity is back earlier than this time, then the sender waits for minimum of 1 minute. Later, he goes into slow start mechanism as he assumes that there is a congestion. If in indirect TCP, the mobile host is disconnected, then in such a situation, the foreign agent will keep on buffering more and more data packets. In case of a handover, following this disconnection, we have more data to be transmitted to new foreign agent. Snooping TCP also suffers from similar such problems. The mobile TCP has goals similar to its variants, which are indirect TCP and snooping TCP. It tries to improve the overall throughput, lower the delay, and maintain end-to-end semantics of TCP and provides more efficient handover. But it is mainly enhanced to address problems related to lengthy or frequent disconnections. Also, it is used for very mobile hosts. Working of mobile TCP. The mobile TCP splits up the connection into two parts. The first one is an unmodified TCP is used on the standard host and supervisory host section, which is this part. And the second one is an optimized TCP is used on the supervisory host and mobile host section, which is this part. The supervisory host plays the same role as the foreign agent in indirect TCP. It is responsible for exchanging data with both the standard host and the mobile host. Here, in this approach, we assume that the error bit rate is less as compared to other wireless links. So, if any packet is lost, the retransmission has to occur from the original sender and not by the supervisory host. The supervisory host monitors the acknowledgements being sent by the mobile host. If, for a long period, acknowledgements do not get received, then the supervisory host assumes that the mobile host has been disconnected. If so, the supervisory host chokes the sender by setting its window size to 0. And because of this, the sender goes into persistent mode. That is, the sender state will not change no matter how long the receiver is disconnected. This means that the sender will not try to retransmit the data. Now, when the supervisory host detects a connectivity established again with the mobile host, the window of the sender is restored to the original value. The advantages of mobile TCP. So, the first one is that it maintains the TCP end-to-end semantics, and no failed packet retransmission is done by the supervisory host. All the job is handled by the original sender itself. The second one is it does not require the change in the sender's TCP. The third one is if mobile host is disconnected, it does not wait any time in useless transmissions and shrinks the window size to directly 0. And lastly, there is no need to send old buffer data to the new supervisory host in case of handover, as it was the case in indirect TCP. Along with advantages, there are some disadvantages of mobile TCP too. So, the first one is that the mobile TCP assumes low bit error, which is not always true. So, any packet loss due to bit errors occurring, then it's propagated to the sender. Second, when a number of nodes move to a new supervisory host, the bandwidth needs to be managed. And lastly, the modifications are required for the mobile host protocol software. So friends, this was all about the mobile TCP. I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you.